Welcome to this live stream from First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Our mission is to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. We invite you to visit our website at www.ucdsm.org. It's a great way to explore all that our church has to offer, from adult programs, to religious education, to social justice work, and more. But the best way to know us is to visit on a Sunday. We'd love to get to know you over a cup of coffee after the service. Speaking of which, today's service will begin shortly. So now we'll take you inside.
Hear these words from Michelle Collins. We arrive carrying the familiar ache of not enough time, not enough rest, not enough certainty about what comes next. But here, in the space between one breath and another, something small and persistent whispers, "You are held."
We come from days that felt too ordinary to notice. Commutes and meetings, dishes and deadlines, the unremarkable hours that make up most of living. But buried in the mundane lie small miracles we walk past without seeing.
Some of us learned to count blessings on our fingers, others to whisper thanks to ancestors, or earth, or sky. We carry different languages of gratitude, different ways of recognizing what sustains us. All of them are welcome here. Please join with me in the chalice lighting words in your order of service, or hopefully on the screen as well. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us. And now, let us pass the peace. If you would prefer a little personal space, simply remain seated, and your neighbors will take the cue and leave you in peace. And once you're done passing the peace, you can remain standing for our opening hymn.
I told him, you'll announce it to him, I just told him. You got it.
Please remain standing and join with me in singing number 323, Break Not the Circle. Verses 1 and 2. Break not the circle of enabling love, where people strive for giving and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come, wander at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong or right, but will that human bonds remain unbroken.
Good morning. I'm Elijah Evans, pronouns he, him, your celebrant this morning. We welcome all people who welcome all people. We welcome all genders, ethnicities, bodies, and stories. Whatever you are carrying with you, whatever you long to set down or pick up today, may you find here the love, support, and encouragement you seek. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you'd like help connecting with folks, please be sure to grab a yellow Let's Talk mug during the coffee hour after the service to communicate your interest in getting to know more people. And now, let us deepen our awareness of this place and season. Our First Unitarian Church is located on land that has been home to people of woodland culture for 12,000 years, including the Iowa, Sauk, and Meskwaki. Centering ourselves in our place in the cosmos, the moon is waning crescent.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Steve Seek, he, him pronouns, and I'm honored to serve as your minister. I come to you today with a healthy spirit stuck in a body with a cold. I will be fine, but as a public health service, I will not be greeting you all after the service. Know that I love you, and part of showing that love is keeping this virus to my dang self. So, There's gratitude. There you go. As Unitarian Universalists, we don't have a statement of belief or creed. Instead, our community is held together in love by covenant. This means that we affirm and reaffirm our commitment to one another, and we try to put love at the center of our actions. And so I invite you to join me in speaking together the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines Bond of Union. We covenant to associate ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion, as interpreted by the growing thought and noblest lives of humanity, hoping thereby to prove helpful to one another and to promote truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
Let's stand again and sing 128, For All That Is Our Lives, verses 1 and 2. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks for all that is our life.
Good morning. As we can see, we don't have a lot of space up in the front today, so we are going to ask youth to stay in their seats for the story. Today's story is Lila and the Three Worlds of Gratitude. Once upon a time, there were two magical worlds that lived side by side. One was called the world of Always Thankful, and the other was the world of the Never Thankful. They looked the same on the outside: blue skies, tall trees, children at play, but inside they couldn't have been more different. Between these two worlds lived a curious girl named Lila. In the world of Always Thankful, people said thank you constantly. They thanked everything: the clouds, their forks, the ground they walked on. But Lila soon realized the problem wasn't that they never felt grateful, it was they weren't always feeling grateful. Their thank yous were bright on the outside, but empty on the inside. They spoke out of habit, not out of their heart. Gratitude had become like wallpaper, everywhere but rarely noticed. They went through the motions of appreciation without pausing to actually appreciate anything. When Lila visited them, she noticed something gentle and hopeful beneath the surface. These people want to be grateful, she thought. They just forgot how deep gratitude can go. And then there was the world of Never Thankful. Here, no one said thank you, ever. But Lila soon realized that didn't mean they never felt grateful. When someone held a door open, a spark of appreciation flickered in the receiver's eyes, but no words came. When children opened presents, joy lit up their faces for a moment, but then they ran away without expressing it. People cared for each other quietly, secretly, silently. So silently that no one ever knew it. And because gratitude lived locked inside of their hearts, kindness slowly faded from view. Everyone walked around wondering, does anyone even notice me? Does anyone even care? Even the flowers, who sensed all things, whispered to the wind. They feel grateful, they just never say it. But with outspoken appreciation, the field still grew gray. She watched them both from her garden gate. I wish I could take the best of each, she said, the sincerity hiding in one and the good intentions hiding in the other. One night, under a sky full of listening stars, Lila packed a small bag and stepped through a shimmering doorway. She took one jar and filled it with the sincerity hidden beneath the silence of the Never Thankful world. the true appreciation people felt but never shared. And then she took another jar and filled it with mindfulness, missing beneath the noisy thank yous of the always thankful world, the deep noticing of what is good instead of just saying polite words. When she mixed the two jars together, a new light began to glow. It wasn't loud, it wasn't silent, it was warm, steady, and real. From that gentle glow grew a new place, the world of authentic gratitude. In this world, people didn't thank everything automatically. They thanked one another when their hearts truly stirred. They let their appreciation shine outwards through their words and actions. When someone cooked dinner, others helped clean up. When a friend shared their crayons, someone shared a story in return. And when the sun rose, people felt grateful and planted trees to honor the gift of the light. People noticed small joys, the smell of rain, a hug from a friend, an unexpected kindness, and they let those joys bloom into expressions of gratitude that strengthened their community. Lila watched the new world take shape and smiled. This, she said, is what gratitude really is. Not just polite words, not hidden feelings, but the honest sharing of appreciation, felt deeply, spoken freely, and lived out in love. And slowly, the three worlds came together. The always thankful people learned that gratitude is deeper than just a polite phrase. The never thankful people learned that unspoken gratitude needs a voice. And everyone learned that real gratitude is not about quantity, but about sincerity. When gratitude is authentic, it can overflow forever, and the world only grows more beautiful. Thank you. At this time, we're going to be singing the children's benediction. If the youth just want to meet us up at the upper doors, we will walk out over there. Thank you.
Go in joy, go in peace to meet the day. With open hearts embrace life's wonder. We will guide you, we will love you on your way.
Grateful to Faith for writing that story. I invite you to settle into your seats for a moment here. On this upcoming Thursday, November 20th, we hold in reverence our annual Transgender Day of Remembrance. In that spirit, I will light 3 candles, one to lament the violence directed to trans beloveds, one to celebrate trans joy, and one to kindle the flame of our work for a day when all may flourish. Sunshine Jeremiah Wolf offers these words. We remember those who have been murdered for being who they are, those who face violence on a daily basis, those who have lost loved ones, and those who worry for loved ones. May we come to a time when we cease to shame children around gender roles and expression, where we allow for freedom and exploration of identity and expression, and to a world that operates from love, especially when things are difficult and confusing. May all of us who live with the threat of violence find support, strength, community, hope, and safety from violence. I invite you to settle into your seat and open your hearts and welcome forward Anna.
I'm Anna Davis Evans. Pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a pastoral care associate for our congregation. Sometimes life comes at us fast, in ways positive, in ways that bring grief, and in many ways that are mixed. If you are feeling alone or simply in need of someone to talk to, I encourage you to reach out to any of us in the pastoral care team. You can find any of us with the blue name badge or reach out to us at our email, pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org. You can also request assistance or submit a joy or sorrow through our Caring Community page on our website, or again by speaking to any of our members. In this community, we hold it all: the joy, the sorrow, the laughter and tears, and everything in between. Here's what's been shared this week. Former member Amanda DuBose remains hospitalized in New York after life-threatening health complications, but we received amazing news that this week she is recovering. Her family says that she is awake and talking, and in their words, she is a miracle. Let's continue to send love and healing thoughts to Amanda and her family. Some of you have noted that what Amanda has gone through this year sounds unfortunately similar to the ordeal that Misty Craig went through last year. We checked in with Chloe Craig Bowden, her oldest daughter, who reports that Misty has been mostly bedridden since she came home in July of 2024, but she does qualify for a surgery soon that will help with limb contractions. "This is where we are," Chloe said, "and we appreciate any good vibes, energies, or prayers sent our way." We can certainly do that, Chloe. We have a card for the Craig family that can be signed after the service if you stop by the desk, or I'll find you floating around. As we celebrate the joys of life, let us also hold with care all those who are hurting, sick, and grieving. Let's offer our support and understanding to those who are hungry, unhoused, or in need, and let us stand beside those facing injustice and oppression. I'd like to remind you that the Grief Support Circle meets on the second Monday of each month in the minister's office at 5:30 p.m. The next gathering is Monday, December 8th, and all are welcome to attend. I would also like to let you know that if you are experiencing grief or the loss of a loved one, I encourage you to pick up one of these packets that can be found at our desk just outside this back door. Inside of it, you will find information about our Grief Support Circle, questions and answers, and resources spread all throughout this community. And lastly, if you would like to send your own card to Amanda or Misty's families, their addresses are not updated in Realm, so again, please stop by the desk as I have updated address cards that you can pick up to be sure your card reaches them. For the things we can see, for those just beneath the surface, and for those held deep within, we honor it all. Let us walk together, grateful for the love of this community. We take the next moment to share aloud or in writing the names of those you are carrying in your heart today. We now light 3 candles. One for the joys and sorrows shared aloud, another for those held or shared in writing, and one for those held silently among us. For all of these, we now observe a minute of silence.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
In this month of nurturing gratitude, let us recall Albert Schweitzer's words. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us. In gratitude, then, we give, for in gratitude we receive. I once learned of a relationship researcher who studied thousands of couples to see if he could discern patterns in their interactions that may predict positive or negative outcomes for their relationships. Initially, this brave scientist was discouraged from trying to study couples scientifically because it was presumed the complexity of the interpersonal interactions would prevent any meaningful insights from being made clear. In yet another win for stubbornness, he persisted despite the warnings. After painstakingly coding these thousands upon thousands of exchanges among couples, and then tracking the fates of these relationships to see if these exchanges had any predictive power, our intrepid researchers' intellectual dedication paid off. In a 1992 study, Dr. John Gottman was able to predict with 93.6% accuracy whether or not a given couple from the study in question would later divorce. As a result of the insights gleaned from all this investigation, he began to teach therapists what he had found, and he even developed an approach to couples therapy along with his wife. The Gottman method later became a pillar of my training as a couples therapist. One of the simplest and most actionable insights from Dr. Gottman's research has been termed the magic ratio. This is because it is one of the findings that has been the most powerful in predicting relationship outcomes. The magic ratio states that couples who stay together tend to maintain a ratio of 5 positive interactions to every negative one, within a conversation in which they are in conflict. Positive encounters include things like showing empathy, being affectionate, demonstrating curiosity and genuine interest, using humor, and offering support. Negative interactions refer to any moments in which members of a relationship show signs of contempt, dismissiveness, or defensiveness. So let's think about that for a moment. Even in a context in which there is disagreement, couples that stay together routinely have 5 times as many positive engagements with one another as negative. I don't know about you, but that feels like a lot of positivity to me. Possibly even more daunting is that couples who stay together often maintain a positivity ratio of 20-1 when not in conflict. As a young therapist in training learning these figures, I realized if I wanted to stay with my lovely partner, I needed a steady source of positive encounters. Now, I'm not sure how the rest of you long-term partnerships out there create your positivity ratios, but in our house, gratitude is a primary supplier. When I realized that expressing gratitude could create deposits in our relationship's so-called emotional bank account, I learned to start printing money. What's worked so well about this strategy is the possibilities are endless. If the basis of gratitude is recognizing things could be otherwise, and I could be thankful for what is here by comparison, nothing Anna does that I have any positive feelings about is safe from my gratitude. I've done everything I can to be the Sauron of thankfulness. And one of the things for which I'm grateful is that Anna has also realized the power of gratitude's alchemy. She too has remembered to transmute mundane realities like dishes done, kitty litter scooped, floors swept, and the like, into opportunities to make me feel appreciated. And I must say, this makes her irksome little quirks a heck of a lot easier to put up with. Now that I actually practice as a couples therapist, I am regularly exposed to what happens when gratitude disappears. Without it there to fund the love and appreciation, the benefit of the doubt is lost. Any ambiguity can be interpreted uncharitably, and disagreement devolves into hostility. This is a vicious cycle that self-perpetuates. Sadly, I have witnessed many once loving couples fall into this trap, and many do not escape despite my best efforts to help break the cycle. So by now, I hope the practical upshot of my message is clear. Flood the zone with gratitude. If you exploit the steady supply of opportunities for gratitude around you, your less lovable traits may just get lost in the shuffle. Do not allow your loved ones to lose their positive biases towards you. Okay, I'll admit it sounds a little Machiavellian when I put it that way. I'll say it this way instead. Gratitude is one of our most powerful tools for maintaining the health of our relationships. You are immersed in endless possibilities from which gratitude can be synthesized. And I hope, for the sake of you and your loved ones, you stay mindful of that fact. I've even found it helpful to make it a game of how mundane or oddly specific I can make my expressions of appreciation. You know you've really committed to the strategy when you're complimenting your wife's colander cleaning technique. So I really do practice what I preach here. And thankfully, I've got a loving marriage to show for it.
There was a time in the early 2000s when it seemed like every movie trailer had the same voiceover. In a world. Does anyone remember this? Yeah. You know, in a world of witches and wizards, or in a world covered in water. My favorite, in a world ruled by apes. The trailers invited us into an imagination game, the same us, but different circumstances, a 2-hour-long game of what if? Now, my theory is that we were flooded with these movies because the film industry had just mastered CGI, computer-generated images, and suddenly filmmakers could make these incredibly realistic-looking fantasy worlds. So we became habituated every Friday at the theaters to going to utopias and dystopias in a world. So last week we talked about gratitude as a kind of practice. Like playing the piano or tying your shoes, whatever you do repeatedly becomes a habit. The question remains then, what does the habit of gratitude look like in a world? So I want to explore what this world might look like if we practiced gratitude as a habit, and what it might look like if we never practiced gratitude as a habit. I invite you into a brief scene through the eyes of a fictitious family. Angie, as she wakes up, is going to see her child Shane and her wife Sue. Now, what would it look like if all three of them practiced gratitude, or if none of them practiced gratitude? The plot points in the scene remain the same. Angie has a big meeting at work later today. Shane, however, woke up at 5:30. Sue clocked that and woke up with Shane so that Angie could sleep in. And Sue and Shane made pancakes. Here's where the scene begins with Angie waking up. Now, in Utopia, it probably sounds like this. Mommy, you're up. I'm so glad. Hey, Shane, Mom must have woken up with you. Thanks for being so quiet and letting me sleep. Well, you've got that big meeting today, and we couldn't find the granola, so we made pancakes. Thank you, Shane. And Sue, thank you for getting up early with him. I didn't realize how badly I needed that sleep. Ah, what a film. Or, Mommy, you're finally up. Why didn't you wake up with me? Shane, too much. Mommy needs her coffee first. Go play somewhere else. Sue, what time is it? Oh, it's 7:45. 7:45? I'm late. Why didn't you wake me up? I think what you mean is, thanks for waking up with him at 5:30. I don't have time for this. Where's the granola? We couldn't find it, so we made you pancakes. Did you even look in the cereal shelf? Yeah, I looked. It wasn't there. It's literally right there. It doesn't matter. I can't eat the pancakes. I'm late. Ah! Two versions of the same start of the day for Angie. One version's a Nora Ephron film. You feel loved. You feel in love. The other is like a David Finch or Quentin Tarantino film. You're exhausted and you're scarred, and it's only 2 minutes in. So you can imagine how the world of gratitude or ingratitude would continue throughout the film. A grateful Angie brings the extra pancakes into work because she knows she's late, and her colleague says, oh, thank you. Or she barks at her assistant about how Sue screwed up her schedule. Her grateful colleague says, oh, thank you for the pancakes, and that Sue's a keeper. Or she responds with, I don't care, you're late. You could imagine Angie coming home from work and making dinner with Shane to give Sue a break from parenting, or you could imagine Angie and Sue coming home and starting the fight that they left. Now, for most of us, I hope your days are not so black or so white. They're never so perfectly sunny or so perfectly horrible. I think we move between these films very easily. After all, our relationships themselves are habits, like practicing the piano. We build in an expected back and forth with each person in our lives, an expected sort of psychological energy with each person. And so I could see you being helpful in the kitchen with your loved one with that entrained generosity and compassion. You're leading with gratitude, you're seeing the best in them. But the phone rings and it's that customer service calling you back, and behold your pettiness. Behold that combative spirit. So on the phone, you're an Al Pacino character in a psychological thriller. You hang up, you go back into the kitchen, and suddenly you're back to being an affable Tom Hanks. Be careful how we practice. Practice becomes a habit. Not for nothing, here's a tip I like to try. If you really want to throw off your enemy in that psychological thriller that you've just been cast in, switch the script. Become the affable Tom Hanks character. You'll see them looking off stage left for their next line. Heartfelt gratitude always interrupts that verbal fight. But anyways, we move between these two films, between a life of gratitude and a life without any gratitude. And I think some of it is our habits we build with each person in our lives. But I want to make the case that gratitude is contagious. Now, there is a clinical therapist on stage, and I'm not that one. So I'm speaking here as a minister, not as a psychologist or sociologist, but hear me out. Gratitude fosters social connection. Bill actually talked about it last week, how genuine acts of gratitude release oxytocin in the brain, which when released fosters love and safety and trust and connection. And so when you move into a new space neutrally, no habits yet, and someone greets you with genuine gratitude, you feel a rush of love and trust and connection, and then you reciprocate, and they feel it, and it spreads. I argue that's what church is. And so I think that people have known about this, the contagion of gratitude, long before they knew any neurochemical studies. The Hebrew Psalms, for example, give the instruction, give thanks 73 times. Jesus models acts of thanksgiving 7 times at least, depending on how you count it, in the Gospels. In the Katana Sutra, the Buddha is purported to have said, a person of integrity is grateful and thankful. The Quran has at least 75 verses about the importance of gratitude in our lives. Plato is supposed to have said, a grateful mind is a great mind. So long before these brain studies, wise people understood that gratitude helps the individual and the community. And we all know this in our own bodies. When someone snaps at us, attacks us, and shames us, that's contagious too. It brings out the worst in us. We snap back. We attack. If we had to pick which of these two films to cast ourselves, and I'm going to guess that we pick the utopia, always grateful, not the dystopia of never grateful. That's not, for me, an interesting question. For me, what's interesting is what do we do when we are trying to be in a grateful world and the energy we're receiving is not gratitude, but ingratitude, not love, but cruelty? How do we make this habit in the face of the other habit? I'm not a medical doctor, but I am sick today. So I've been thinking about that, and I've picked up, like most of us, a lot of tips about epidemiology from the pandemic, right? A lot of us learned a lot about how diseases spread in 2020. And so even though I'm looking at medical professionals while I say this, please understand I'm speaking in metaphor. When you're trying to avoid getting an infection, and I don't know why you'd listen to anything I say after that, but if you're trying to avoid getting an infection, you want to practice 3 habits. Cultivate a healthy immune system, wash your hands, vaccinate. Cultivate a healthy immune system, wash your hands, and vaccinate. That way, when you're out in the world, healthy you can handle the viruses that come your way. It does its own immune system job. But your hands gather up viruses from doorknobs and rails and shaking hands and such, so you wash your hands of that. And you vaccinate so that your immune system knows how to handle the bad viruses. This is metaphor. Obviously, I didn't follow it. So in that metaphor, what does it mean to cultivate a healthy immune system for gratitude in a world that can be cruel? Well, that's the spiritual practice of gratitude. That's what I hope you've been working on all week, starting with that thank you card. It's bringing your neighbor a cocoa after they raked your leaves. It's calling your friend to thank them for hosting dinner last week. It's writing a letter to an old teacher to thank them for believing in you when you didn't believe in yourself. It's building up this practice of noticing the people and relationships in your life, the blessings and bounty of your life. It's the 20-to-1 ratio. When we nurture the practice of gratitude, we become robust enough in our gratitude immune system that we're not completely thrown off course by one ungrateful interaction. So that's the immune system part of it. What does the washing of your hands mean? Well, when someone throws an ungrateful thing your way, how do you wash yourself of it? How do you wash it off? I would argue that we actually worked on this last month, cultivating compassion. honoring the complexity of this other person, the rich and heartbreaking story of their world of which you know a very, very small part. Mean, ungrateful comments are cries for compassion. You're not obligated to respond that way. You do not need to martyr yourself. Pity is fine if you can't find compassion. But even pity redirects your fight-flight mode to, are you okay? Instead of, oh yeah, well, same to you, which we saw in the Tarantino film of Angie and Sue. And then there's vaccinating. Vaccines train your immune system to respond to the infection by sending a safe version of the virus. It's a fire drill minus the actual fire. So if we're going to nurture gratitude in this sometimes ungrateful world, we actually have to rehearse how we want to show up in the world. We have to journal about it. We have to reflect about it in our small groups. Because if, in my experience, if you wake up every day thinking, okay, I'm a nice guy and I'm going to be nice and I expect the world to be nice right back at me, you won't make it to lunch. Sorry. People are going to do and say anything. They're going to say things you don't like and do things you don't like. They're going to fail to say and do the things you do like. Now, you don't have to take it. You don't have to absorb and tolerate bad behavior. But cruelty will show up at everyone's doorstep, pretty much every day. Now, why? I don't know. That's another sermon. But the point is that you're going to encounter these scenes from dystopia pretty much every day. And so we vaccinate, we rehearse, and we prepare. And I invite us into that practice. And the story I began with, Sue is practicing gratitude. She knows that it's a big day for Angie at work. And she knows that Shane is suddenly up an hour earlier than usual. So she chooses gratitude. She gets up early with Shane. She even makes Angie pancakes. Here's the catch. If Angie's like most of us, Angie likes her schedule. She wants her alarm to go off at 6:20. She wants to do her wake-up routine with Shane at 6:40. She wants her granola at 6:45. She wants to be off for work at 7:30. So Angie's experiencing a surprise, and Angie doesn't like surprises, especially on big days like today. What I'm saying is that for many of us, the action of gratitude from Sue may come as an ingrateful response from Angie. You changed my day, and I didn't ask for that. But we can vaccinate. We can notice. We can notice the gift of Sue's work. Notice that Sue put in all of this work because it's a special day for Angie at work. So Angie could practice noticing sentences. Oh, I'm noticing that you woke up early with Shane and that you two made me a special breakfast. Now here's the catch. Noticing is value neutral. It doesn't say it's good or bad. It's just an observation. It's not saying it's what Angie wanted. It's just noticing. Because at this point, Angie's immune system's freaking out, metaphorically. This wasn't my plan. I'm late. Oh no, right? Her default response would be the Tarantino film. But noticing interrupts it. Step 2 is to imagine into the noticing. Imagine deeper. Really imagine what it would be like for Shane to wake up an hour earlier than usual. And imagine that Sue, who's not a morning person, got up at 5:30. That she managed to keep him quiet playing downstairs for over an hour and a half. That they made pancakes. The more detailed the imagination, the better. They had to get the butter to room temperature and not with the microwave cheating. They even used the good maple syrup. I'm noticing and I'm imagining. And that allows Angie into a space of gratitude. Wow, that was a lot that you did for me today. Thank you. Now, Angie may in fact not want this treatment on future big days. She may want her schedule on big days. That's a different conversation. But in this moment where she gets the rush of ingratitude, noticing, imagining, allows her into a deeper space of honest gratitude. It's not a world of fake kindness. It's not a Midwestern thank you. I was thinking about that during Faith's story about, like, is this a parable of the Midwest and the East Coast? I'm not sure what's going on here. It's not a world of fake kindness. It's because that would lack noticing. Because we live in a world where people who are hurt others over and over, and it wants to spread. As we practice how to turn our unkind or ungrateful interactions into grateful ones, we do a small part to change which movie we're in. I would love to live in a world filled with gratitude, but that's not the one I'm in. Frankly, I'd love to live in a world without colds, but I don't. So here we are in this world, no CGI, no cool voiceovers. Let's be careful what we practice because it becomes a habit, and be careful what we spread because it's all contagious. As the song we're about to sing says, our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate, we make a bridge or wall. So let us have the courage to notice, to imagine, to share our gratitude. I can actually hear the voiceover for that movie. In a world where people put love at the center most of the time, where we said thank you sometimes, and where we encouraged one another in spiritual and ethical growth to our best ability. The good news, we don't need CGI for that. We have a camera right there. May it be so.
Bruce is reporting on our relationship as we go. Okay, 134. The whole thing.
Please join me in saying the extinguishing chalice words, and your order of service are on the screen. May we go forth from this place thankful for the life that sustains and renews us, and open to the grace that surrounds and surprises us. May we go forth from this place with openness and thanksgiving.
Dear ones, the flame is extinguished, but our gratitude continues in action. May your appreciation for life's gifts translate into work that extends those same blessings to others. Go in peace.
Hallelujah.
As this live stream from First Unitarian Church comes to an end, remember that previous live streams can be found on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you in person someday. Until then, thanks for joining us.